Hi, I'm Marcus.
And I'm Nick.
We are Working Class Nerds.
Cue the intro. That's right, we are Working Class Nerds, a podcast that gives you no information about your favorite information.
Today is Tuesday, July 2nd, 2019, and you can find this, holy shit, we are grown-up podcasters because we have a real intro podcast on Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher. You can find the both of us on Twitter. I am at MarcusB814.
And I am at Nick Vern, that's NickVern. In this week's episode, we're starting the first of several shows where we focus on a particular game development or publishing studio. And this week, we're talking about Bethesda. We'll be talking about all of our favorite and not so favorite games from Bethesda, or Bethesda's parent company a little bit, but all things Bethesda. But first, Marcus, what have you been up to this week?
I'm going to use the VAT system, and I'm going to shoot you in the head with a double-barrel shotgun, and I'm going to do 1 damage to you, and then the gun's going to break.
I don't know which game you're talking about.
Oh, it's the fucking worst game ever. But anyways, so I'm really, really jacked up right now. I've been working like crazy, and my crazy nighttime calm down time hasn't been calming me down.
Right.
I've killed 3 Apex hard mode bosses in a month, which is super awesome. Death Star Troopers killed Brontes after working on Dread Fortress for months and months, and I feel like that was the moment we all needed to succeed. Because when it was like when we were playing paintball and the team I was on had a winless season.
Yes.
And you felt like you could never win one match.
Yes.
But then as soon as you win one match, then you're making it to the playoffs and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's almost like that with this because it took us so long to win. I didn't think we were allowed to win. And then we got the win, and then we moved on to we were going to go right into Scum and Villainy, but then the Porg team, Brian's team from Bad Feeling,
yep.
His team is working on Explosive Conflict, so the Death Star Troopers went in there, and I was like, ugh. We got to the minefield, which is essentially the third boss, and I was like, well, shit, we might as well go back and get a win.
Right.
Thanks, Brian. And so we did that on Sunday. We have had a new tank fill in, and his name's Slayer, and he's coming back.
Slayer!
Yeah, he was good, and, it's nice to find somebody that wants to come play with us. So anyways, we did that, and then Fortitude is a Republic guild.
It's okay. Sometimes you can be in the pub side.
Ugh.
See, I don't understand why you hate the pub side so much, because all of your tunes are light side of the force always.
Because, it's so, colorful. It's like you're at a rave party constantly on the pub side.
Oh, it's
Everybody,
all like...
And, cakes and pies just flying around, and, flowers and butterflies.
Oh,
it's
like Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Or Toys R Us.
Well, Toys R Us is awesome.
That's true. That's okay. I'll go back to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, it's like...
Too much bright colors all the time.
So, and, the imp side, they're evil people, but I'm that one good egg.
Right.
Inside the imp side, so it makes me feel good about myself.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Fortitude is an awesome raiding guild.
Okay.
And they're creating a hard mode team. So I offered to join up, and they've been doing tryouts, which I don't know if I'm going to actually make the team or not.
Yeah.
But I'm trying out. And this week on Monday, we went to Scum and Villainy, which is the op that Death Star Troopers is starting on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And we won.
Wow.
So it was super cool, and I was definitely the worst player on the team. It actually feels good being the worst player on the team.
Rather than
No, I'm definitely not the best. I'm like the second to worst on Death Star Troopers.
Oh, okay.
So like there's everybody else, and then
you and then one other person that shall not be named.
no, I'm the worst player on Death Star Troopers too. The more I think about it, I'm the worst player on that team. So, and they're constantly carrying me. But anyways, so then, so we beat Dreadmaster Styrak, which was pretty cool. And what's awesome is now I have a little bit of experience going into that op, so now I can kind of almost coach Death Star Troopers rather than rely on somebody else to be like, no, Marcus, you're explaining it wrong.
Yeah, it should actually be this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, then Intisar. Whoa, holy shit. So Intisar,
who we met at PAX,
correct, was on UtiniCast today.
Whoa!
So I talked to Doc Sotor like an hour before they recorded, and he's like, yeah, we don't have a guest. And all of a sudden, Intisar was on the show, which shout out to him because that was awesome, and he has his awesome blog that he does this week in Orbish. But anyway, the reason he was on is when you do like dailies and heroics and stuff like that, you get these crates. And when you open them, you can get a bunch of random shit, but there's also legacy gear that's inside them. Mm-hmm. And there's 281 pieces in the whole game. Okay. And this morning, he got his last one. So he has every piece of legacy gear in the entire game.
That is so intense.
Yeah, it's so aggressive because like,
it's not like you can ever have enough tunes. I guess maybe you could to fill all those up, right?
Well, right, but when do you stop and say, well, I'm halfway there, I might as well go for all of them? Yeah, when does that like click that like
you're going like okay, even
I've got a couple.
Even to get halfway there, you still needed 140 pieces of legacy gear, which that's like 7 tunes worth or something, right?
A lot more than that.
How many?
7.
A full set of legacy gear
9.
is like how many
9.
pieces? 9 pieces per
9.
tune. So
yeah.
I don't know. 140 divided by 9 is like too many.
I'm not working right now. I'm not even going to try. Anyway,
yeah, me either.
So Intisar was on the show. Awesome. It was cool to hear him because I didn't expect it. But he is, before 6.0 drops, he really wants to set up a hard mode queen progression team.
Okay.
So that's going to start up on...
Hive Queen?
Yep, the Hive Queen.
Yeah. That's the world boss from the new planet.
Correct. Osis. So we're starting that on Wednesday nights, which is pretty sweet. You need 5 DPS. Really, you should go with 6. But it puts a lot of stress on one healer to keep all those people alive.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Especially when they die like you or I do.
Did you just yawn?
I sure
at
did.
Me?
Sorry. Yeah, I yawned.
Just for the record, Nick is wearing a hoodie and it's like 100 degrees.
Yeah, but you know where it's not 100 degrees? The basement in which we're recording.
How come I'm sweating then?
Because you drank 3 or 7 espresso shots at 2 in the afternoon. You've been sweating since.
Okay. Anyway. So... the progression.
You're not, no retort whatsoever. You're just like, fuck. That's precisely true.
So I've been putting one shot of espresso in every iced coffee I get,
which is like 4 a day.
I've cut back. It's 3.
Okay.
Well, no, maybe not. So depending on where I'm working, so there's one on the way to work.
Yeah.
That I make at home. Then I get one at coffee break.
Yeah.
Usually, if I finish that, I get one at lunchtime, and then fuck.
It is 4.
Anyway,
so that's 4 iced coffees, which are Trentas, mind you.
So, and I'm gonna blame myself for a terrible podcaster these last couple episodes because I haven't been drinking beer during the podcast.
Yeah.
I've only been drinking coffee, and it's fucked me up. What is that percentage at?
I just completed and is giving me the replace the files in the destination or skip these files. And
Skip
I'm
them.
Skip them.
Oh, yeah, you're going to click a lot. Anyway, so I'm sorry on that tangent, coffee. Anyways, so I've been playing a new MMO.
Woo! Wait, we should, before we get into this, we should explain what the hell we were just talking about. We're transferring data from one laptop to the other.
Yeah, because I have my shiny new laptop that I need to record on. So,
right.
And the screen is so much bigger and bright and beautiful.
It's 15-inch versus 13-inch.
I love that Alienware laptop.
Size matters, ladies.
Anyway.
And gents. Anyways, back at the ranch. You were talking about you started playing ESO?
Yeah, so Elder Scrolls Online. So I started to play it a while ago, and I was just like, ugh, I can't do it. But then Nick came up with this grand fucking plan to talk about different game studios, and
Like
he's
different
like,
games
let's
that we
talk
like.
about and he's like, let's talk about Bethesda, and I'm like, well, shit.
I haven't played like no games from Bethesda.
Well, I've played a bunch, but never like Elder Scrolls or Skyrim. Well, I guess that's Elder Scrolls. Or any of their RPGs, I guess I'll say.
Yeah.
So anyway, I started playing it. It's pretty fun. Graphics are phenomenal.
So especially compared to SWTOR, right?
Well, SWTOR's beautiful too.
Yeah, but in different ways. It's
Yeah,
like
it's different ways.
Totally different art style,
Yeah,
right?
and it's a newer game, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
So they have this thing called add-ons where,
Okay. In ESO.
yeah, it's basically mods. Like
Okay.
you can mod it.
Yeah.
But I like a plug-and-play game. I want to plug it in, I want to turn it on, and I want to play it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been playing it without any add-ons because I'm lazy. And so today or a couple days ago, I'm like, I'm going to start, doing these add-on things.
Yeah.
I can't fucking figure it out. They're like, oh, download Minion, and that'll house all the add-ons you put in the game. I can't fucking figure it out. And
That's annoying.
it's so
I
annoying.
never thought you would need mods for
they don't have a
MMO.
mini map for the screen.
That's really annoying.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like that. Yeah, because, like, especially in a lot of those dungeons and stuff, you want a mini-map to know where the heck you're going. Although I guess Skyrim doesn't have one now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, like I hate the fact that you have to push the M key to pull up a map. It's stupid.
Yeah. That's, yeah,
Anyway.
I know what you're saying.
So I started playing that. I'll talk about it a little bit more later. It's
Mhm.
been fun, but it's hard for me to be able to invest time into another MMO.
Yeah.
But I'm finding time because I want to play it, and I put it on my laptop, which is pretty cool, and I play it with a controller. So, like, I had my laptop on my lap on the couch the other day, and I just had a controller, and I was just jamming.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Anyways, Bloodstained, I have played some. I still can't beat the first boss. I think it's because I'm only playing it, like, once every, 4 or 5 days for 10 minutes.
What is Bloodstained?
It's like Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Oh, that's right. Yep. And what are you playing that on?
PC
also?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is I got rid of my bullshit PlayStation Pro. See you later, PlayStation Pro. Hello, Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
So I bought Diablo 3
Yep.
with it, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
The Switch is nice. It's something different. I was going to get an Xbox, but I was like, it's just going to collect dust.
Yeah, you're not going to use it. You might as well get a system
Right,
you're actually
and I'm
gonna use.
so I'm going to take my laptop with me on vacation in a couple weeks, and I'm going to take my Switch, and I'll have a couple games, and I'm totally going to trap my wife and get the Mario game, and she'll be lost in it for hours at night.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm a winner.
I agree.
Anyways, but before we talk, but what did you say?
The
Bethesda Bonanza? That's Bonanza. What's a Bonanza?
I think it's like a party or a rip-roaring good time, as the kids from the 1940s
Are you
say.
guys ready to talk about Bethesda?
Dun, dun,
Dun, dun, na, 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 na,
dun,
na, na, na.
We're not
we're
in sync.
No. Anyways, Nick, what have you been up to this week?
Oh, besides shitty beatboxing, I've been playing.
Well, that was just terrible.
Oh, my, these poor listeners. I've been playing God of War, as everyone knows. I finally found enough ciphers, which are pieces of a puzzle, basically, to unlock Muspelheim. That sounds more German than Nordic, but anyways. If you don't know, in God of War, you can travel. It's not a big spoiler. You can travel to different realms in the sort of Nordic universe. I forget what it's actually called, but there's different
Nordic.
Yeah, there's
That's what it's called, dude.
well, whatever. There's different worlds basically you can go to, and you go to a bunch of them within the main story. But then there's a couple that you have to unlock that are bonus, where you fight super duper difficult super difficult enemies and get upgraded gear because of it, which is cool. So one of those realms is Muspelheim, and it's like the fire lava realm. The other one is like Niflheim or something like that. I forgot how it's actually called.
This sounds like it's like a Call of Duty map from Call of Duty World at War.
Oh yeah, all the German names.
Yeah.
But I have not unlocked the ice one, which begins with an N, something Heim again. But that one you unlock later, and it's a lot harder. So in Muspelheim, the fire and lava one that I got, it's basically like siege mode, where you just fight like these rounds of enemies, and there's different challenges. So you have to fight like 3 different types of enemies, and you have to kill them all like within like 10 seconds of each other, which is hard. So like they're not that hard to kill individually, but to kill them all within like 10 seconds is tough. So you have to like fight one a bunch and get the health really low, and then not touch it again. And so then you can like one shot each one, and it's tough. So I've gotten through the first like round of them and got the first 2 rounds of them and got the reward. But I think there's like 10 stages, and I'm just not high enough level to get past. Like I could probably do the 3rd one if I really tried for like a couple hours, but it's really hard. And then at the end, you fight this big boss. It's a Valkyrie, I think. But
how long did it take you to beat that?
I didn't beat it yet. I got through the first 2 rounds, and the first one took me. I played for like an hour and a half while I was inebriated one evening, and did not beat it. And then I played for about 10 minutes when I was sober the next day, and beat it in like 10 minutes. And then the second round, it took me about another half hour to beat, without the inebriant.
Sure, I understand that. Now, how does it look on the Pro versus the Slim?
So first of all, we might want to back up a little. Marcus's PS4 Pro went to me, and I bought him the Switch, and I'm going to buy him some more games too, so it's a little more fair monetarily trade.
Well, I think,
speaking.
It's because of the controller, not because of the system.
That's true. So yeah, you have the Astro Mega controller.
Yeah. So can you tell the clear difference?
Yeah, I think so. Well, first there's 2 with the Pro. You actually have options, so you can optimize it for crazy resolution or optimize it for frames per second, like performance. So I have it set to resolution because I wanted to see how pretty I can make it, and there's a big difference there. When you have it optimized for frames, it's not that big of a. There is a difference, but it's not as big of a difference, if that makes sense.
Well, the way I look at it is this: if you're only getting 30 frames a second and you're at 4K,
that's
versus
fine. Yeah,
no. But if you set it to resolution, and you're at 1080p and you're getting 60 plus, then it's worth it to be frame rate.
Yeah,
because it actually looks awesome. Like this laptop has 120 hertz monitor. It looks unbelievable.
Yeah,
compared to even my
computer.
4K. Yeah, my 4K monitors. They look great, but they drop down to like 30 frames, and then I see this
on your laptop,
a SOTOR on my laptop, and I'm like, wow, this looks fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
So maybe it is all about the frame rate. I don't actually know.
I don't either. I'm gonna change it to the frame rate / performance optimization, and I'll see how big of a difference that makes. I also don't know if my TV it has like what the refresh rate on that is, because it might not be high enough to actually.
You might have just a 60 hertz.
Right, in which case it doesn't.
Time
really
for an upgrade.
Yeah, but TVs are expensive.
No, dude, that 46-inch I gave you, is 120 hertz.
Oh.
That TV is dope.
Maybe I'll put when I install that in my room, I'll put the PS4 back in my room. Dun dun dun.
Oh yeah, the TV in the basement is definitely 60 hertz.
Yeah, because it's 1080 plasma, but it's for like sports and stuff. I think that was also purchased before like
when the TV revolution.
Yeah, when 60 hertz was like plenty.
Anyways,
so besides Muspelheim, I beat a Traveler earlier today.
What is that?
It's an enemy type that's really, really tough. So he has this like indestructible shield on his back, and he's got a giant sword. But his stance is so that his back is always facing you. So and he'll rotate as you rotate around him. So you can't just hit him with an attack. You have to counter the stuff that he attacks you with. So but it's tough because a lot of his attacks you can't block with your shield. You have to dodge out of the way and then hit him. But it's really difficult because his attacks come in like groups of 3 sometimes they'll be groups of 1, so they're unpredictable. So like if you try to counter his first attack, if it's a group of 3 cluster, you're fucked because they wipe out like a third of your health. So you might, for example, if you dodge his first attack and then try to attack him after it, and it's a cluster of 3.
Yeah.
he'll hit you twice, and that'll be 2/3 of your health.
So the mechanics is crazy.
Yeah, it's supposed to be ridiculously hard.
But do you get an epic reward?
Yeah,
for it?
you get really crazy loot. You get a big health thing and all kinds of like runes and stuff when you beat them. And there's like achievements for beating 15 in the game or something like that, and I've beaten 2 so far. So the first of which was like the first one you ever encounter, and that's basically just to like get the mechanic down. This one was one that's actually supposed to be a challenge. So that was intense. That took me about 20 minutes. Besides God of War, I got a Game Boy Advance emulator for my phone, like I talked about last episode.
Really?
Yeah, and I played, I downloaded Pokemon Fire Red.
Wait, you can get emulators for an iPhone? I thought that shit was like locked down.
No, you can get them. It's you have to download like this other app that's like a hub of different like sketchy software, and then you can get the GBA emulator, and then you just download a ROM and click open with the emulator.
I wonder if you can get like the original like Castlevania games.
Sure, I'm sure you can. Wow. Do you have storage on your phone? I'll show you how to do it.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think my phone's like 256 gigs.
I think mine is too, or 128 or something.
Yeah.
I have a lot of storage.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So you started playing what?
Pokemon Fire Red.
What is your first Pokey?
Okay. Well, did we get any responses on Twitter from last episode? Probably not.
No.
I'm not on Twitter.
People
don't care about Pokemon.
Wait. Why aren't you on Twitter?
Because I'm doing a social media cleanse. Actually, that ends this week, so I forgot which day. I think it's the 4th.
Words have nothing.
Well, anyways, I picked Charmander, but the main reason I'd like to play it on, so I have a Game Boy Advance that works still, and I have like yellow, red, actually just yellow. I have yellow, silver, and then ruby or something like that. But excuse me, I don't like to use that because I like to use the cheat codes, especially because I've already played it like a bazillion times. So the emulator lets you put in like the Game Shark cheat codes from back in the day that you'd get out of those booklets from the book fair.
Yes. Yes, the Game Shark.
Yeah, so
and then the Game Genie.
The Game Genie. Yeah, you can do all those cheat codes. Game Genie, Action something. I forgot what they're called.
Jackson?
Action Jackson?
Action Jackson?
No. So I like to use the Unlimited Master Ball cheat and the Unlimited Rare Candy cheat.
Wait. You're cheating?
Yes. I like to, because then, like, if I see a Pokemon, I can just catch it.
Oh, so you're that guy that, like, if you find the glitch in a map and you just sit on the thing and go like 100-0
Yeah.
in a match
and then
not
get,
care.
like, 2 nukes.
Yeah.
If that's
just
not even
care.
possible.
Just don't care.
Yes, that'd be fun. Well, for this, like, I'm not playing against anybody. If I was cheating against other people, I might do it, depending on if I'd get banned or not. Like, in Siege, if you use a glitch, like, for example, I know they had this one glitch where you could, certain characters could put down their deployable shield, but then they'd hold it up at the same time, so it's like they'd have a riot shield that they could shoot through with their main gun, and you could never shoot them. So, like, if they're peeking out of a window,
right,
you could shoot them and it just wouldn't do anything.
Sure.
And they'd just mess you up off the start.
Oh, speaking of Siege, I'm sorry to go on this tangent, but did you see there's this crazy, like, Western update coming out for it?
No. Maybe I should start playing again. I haven't played in a long time.
Yeah, so there's a... Yeah, so I thought it was a update for
Red Dead.
Yeah, and it's not. It's for Siege. So like, there's gonna be like a Western map.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I should get into Siege again.
It was really fun playing with you and Al, and just like me being terrible. But then I found like a character I was pretty good at.
Which one do you remember? What did he have for shit?
He had the turret.
Oh, Tachanka?
Yeah,
he's like the worst one. But yeah, that was.
Well, it's because I could just post and annihilate a hallway.
That's true. It's
and
just
then
like
whenever
in paintball.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the same thing. You
Yes.
hold a lane and just murder lane. You actually did do pretty well several times, I remember, if I remember correctly. Like, we were playing on, like, the plane or whatever one time, and you mowed, like, it was, like, 5-on-1 or something. I don't know. Al and I sucked that game.
No. You guys were alive.
Oh, I thought...
It was 5-on-3, and then one of you guys died, and then it was me, so somebody was watching behind me.
Yes. I think maybe I was watching behind you, and then you shot, like, 4 people.
Yep.
And then I got killed, and you couldn't turn around quick enough or something.
Yeah, because the guy was like, fuck that, I'm not going down that hallway.
Yeah, basically, came the other direction and shot me in the back or something, and then like just immediately shot you before you could turn around.
Yeah.
But that was fun. back at the ranch, I played Pokemon for like an hour. Oh, and what I wanted to say about the cheating in Pokemon was I didn't realize that you can't just give your Pokemon like rare candies and make them level up, because if like, for example, if you don't have the first gym badge yet, anything over level 10 won't obey you anymore. So like I click like attack in a battle and it'll be like Charmander says go fuck yourself. Or like Charmander is lounging around,
and he doesn't want to do anything.
Right, and then like once you beat the first gym leader, then he'll like obey you and actually do the attacks. It's kind of funny.
So you beat the gym teacher? That's not nice.
I beat the gym teacher. And the second gym teacher in the water gym.
In the water gym?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's about it for me. Do you have what's our next segment again? I forgot what it's called. In SOTOR news.
Oh my God! Finally, we got a potential for the PTS build for the Sith Warriors and the Jedis, and
so in English, what does that mean?
Winning. So, anyways,
so the classes that you and I both played are
Jedi Guardians, Jedi Sentinels, and Sith Warrior, basically Marauders and Juggernauts. Anyways, moving on. Eric said,
"Hey, this is PTS updates for 6.0 that's coming out in the fall."
Correct.
Okay. Well, you didn't make that clear. Eric said,
I was too excited.
So Eric said, "Hey folks, let's talk about what Spoils of War has in store for the Marauder."
Yes.
Marcus's favorite class.
Oh, the only fucking class.
Below, you will find the Marauder's new ability, the set bonuses that are planned for them, and a list of new tactical items. You may see set bonuses which refer to changes. We are introducing new tech in Onslaught, which will allow abilities to have multiple charges, meaning you can use them more than once per charge, and the cooldown will simply add a charge up to the maximum.
Winning.
You will note that compared to the Sorcerer, the Marauder has fewer set bonuses. The reason for this is that although the Advanced class has less, the base class of Sith Warrior has more than the Inquisitor. It still results in 8 set bonus options overall. Keep in mind that all of this is subject to change. Do you want me to keep going?
Yes.
New ability, Furious Focus. Furious Focus has 4 ability charges and recharges every 30 seconds. Activating Furious Focus consumes all charges, causing your next attack to do 25% additional damage. Wow. Example, if you consume 3 charges, your next 3 attacks do 25% increased damage.
Can I just say 2 words?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That's really cool, actually.
Yeah. Anyways,
so go ahead.
I'm just gonna say this. I think that's a pretty cool new ability. So that is on top of everything else coming. That's just a straight up new ability.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how much I'll be able to use it. It says I'm going to be able to use it every 30 seconds, but in the moment, we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, like if you can get charge up to 4 attacks for 25% increase every 30 seconds, I feel like that's really strong.
Yeah,
well, unless it's like 30 seconds per charge. So like 30, if you do 1 attack,
right,
that's extra 25%. That's a 30-second cooldown, or like it'd be 2-minute cooldown if you do all 4 attacks.
Right.
That would kind of make more sense.
So then they started talking about the set bonuses.
So it says, these bonuses will likely have the high end of piece requirements, such as requiring 4 or 6 pieces. The smaller piece bonuses will be more passive in nature, stat benefits, etc. So the Dispatcher using dual saber throw with Furious Focus grants the Dispatcher. Finishing the cooldown of Force Charge and making your next Vicious Throw usable on any target.
That's sweet.
So there's another one called From the Shadows. Activating Mad Dash while under Force Camouflage makes it critically hit and slows any targeted damages.
That right there is crazy. So the Jedi has it. Your Juggernaut, it's like he rolls out fast.
Yeah.
Basically, if you hit somebody while doing that, that's going to make them go slow, and you're going to hit them really hard.
That's cool. And they're stuck going slow.
Yes.
So you can screw them up more for later.
So then they started talking about the tactical items. We'll talk about the Marauder and the Carnage because I don't play any of the other classes.
Okay.
Yet.
this is a new item slot coming in Onslaught. You can only wear one tactical item at a time. So the Marauder has a few. It says Apex Predator. Activating Predation finishes the cooldown of Force Camouflage.
Predation is you move 30% faster. Well, your whole group moves 30% faster. It's basically a gift to say, move your ass.
Yeah, that's cool. So, and it kills the cooldown for Force Camouflage. Also, you could have Frenzied Chaos.
Focus.
Sorry, Frenzied. It's hard to read with the yellow font.
Oh, do you want me to change it?
That would be lovely. Frenzied Focus. Anything like darker. It says, Frenzy builds a Furious Focus charge. That's cool. It also has Hidden Power. Force Camouflage generates 2 rage per second while active. That's better. Then you wanted me to check out the Carnage ones. So if you're a Carnage-focused Marauder, you can have Unstable Focus. Using Devastating Blast with Furious Focus causes Devastating Blast to explode, dealing damage to all targets in the area.
So basically, it has the potential to make it an AoE, an area of effect hit.
Yeah, instead of just a point, like a single target hit.
Yep.
Hyper.
Which I am.
Right. You're Hyper?
Right now.
Yeah, I know.
Engage.
One word. Espresso. Hyper. Using Massacre adds hyper stacks to you, increasing your critical chance by 10% and reducing the cost of your next Massacre by 1 rage per stack. Stacks up to 3 times, lasts 10 seconds, or until an ability other than Massacre is used. Interesting. A little complicated. Bloody Focus. Using Gore with Furious Focus causes its target to bleed.
So the way I'm reading that is bleeding is like a constant like tick.
Yeah, kind of like poison damage or something.
Yeah, like tick damage. Yep. And this one I'm beyond excited for.
Always ferocious. Ferocity is active at all times, but only grants 50% armor penetration.
I am pumped for that.
What does it usually grant more armor penetration?
Yeah, but it's I need that.
Sporadic.
Yeah, so I need that to hit everything as hard as I can. So certain moves, when that's activated, I do a shit ton of damage.
Right. So it's better if you have it all the time.
Like if it's not I don't know. I'm curious to see how it works out.
Yeah.
And I probably won't go on the PTS and try it because I'm going to love it no matter what.
Yeah.
And I probably am not going to go on the PTS and try it. Because if I go on the PTS, the only place I'm going to want to do it is in an operation. And the likelihood that I find a group to do that on the PTS is probably slim.
Right.
So, unless I went to like a dummy and did some parsing. Anyway, yeah.
What else would you like to check out?
As a note, if you're a Sentinel player, you can expect to see these set bonuses mirrored for you as well. But obviously, they're talking about the Marauder because the Imp side is the best side.
Yes.
Make sure if you go into the PTS, you let Eric and Dan Steed know. Blah, 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 blah. Anyways.
In Guild News? Or did you want to read that other thing? That looks like it's the same thing we just read.
Yeah. Anyways, in Guild News.
Max and Seema's SOTOR Escape podcast gets to episode 300 next week.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of episodes.
That's 5 years.
Wow. Or this is episode 48, I think.
Yeah, but we do it every other week, and
they do it every week, right?
Every week, and Max and Seema, they rarely miss.
Yeah, they're always on the ball.
Every
week.
They do
it so late at night,
too.
Well,
and that's why they do it. So I asked, and they said the reason why they do it at 11 o'clock at night on Tuesdays or Thursdays is because they can guarantee they're going to be home and available to do it at that time.
Right.
So what if they wake up the next day and they're tired? Well, Max is in this weird time zone that's not real world time.
Yeah, it's like fake time.
Yeah, it's like fake time.
It's basically Candyland over there.
Exactly. And I as much as I don't understand his time zone, I try so hard some nights to watch their show on Twitch because their pre-show is pretty funny, but I'll make it through the pre-show sometimes, and then so they'll do their intro. And Seema will say, "Oh, today we're recording on whatever day, and we just finished this, either their ops night or mandatory fun night." And I hear that, and the next thing I remember is snoring. because I fall asleep and like I can't make it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the next day, whenever they record their show, I guess it's only me and you talking, so I guess now everybody can hear about my ridiculousness. Like
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear the rest of the pre-show if I miss some, or
Yeah.
the beginning of the show because I fall asleep. I'll pull up the Twitch stream because Max doesn't post the show for a day,
Okay.
like till later in the day or the next morning or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm dying to hear like the beginning part of the show.
Yeah, because that's like the fun, less formal part.
Right. And well, no, it's hearing about everybody in the guild and like all
Yeah.
the new people that joined and blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'll watch their Twitch stream while I'm driving to the shop or wherever I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
And I get really mad because if like I drive through a dead zone, I lose it. And
cuts
I'll
out?
be like, oh, blah, 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 blah.
Silence.
Yeah. And I'm just like, ah,
I hate that.
I hate internet.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mega, the monthly Epic Guild activity will be
For which guild again?
the AIE Guild.
Oh, thanks.
Yep.
I forgot.
You know, the guild that we're a part of.
Yeah. Oh, I'm in it too? Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Look, balloons.
Anyways, the next Mega will be on 7/27, and we're going to be going to the Ancient Threat, and we're going to try to beat that boss. He's the hidden boss on Yavin 4, and believe it or not, that's going to kick off the AIE Summer of Love. AIE Summer of Love is 7/27 through 8/4, if I'm not mistaken, with August 2nd being held out for Remembrance Day. And if you don't know what Remembrance Day is, basically a bunch of years ago, the guild's been around for 12, 13 years or something, a while.
Mm-hmm.
And they lost their first true friend, and he went over to the other side in the clouds, in the city of clouds of Bespin, as
Yeah.
my daughter would say. And they passed away, and they decided that August 2nd would be Remembrance Day, where we all of the game divisions get together in their respective games, and we all, like in SOTOR, we go to the Jurin Mountains on Alderaan.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like this awesome mountain that overlooks, and nobody has weapons or anything, and like they talk about the guild, and all of the games get into one Discord channel, and they talk about like if anybody's passed that we know in game, or just remember whoever. And it's really a special time because, like, you know, I've never been a part of a community that like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like this year, I lost somebody that was very, very dear to me. So it's especially going to be special for me this year. You know, my grandmother passed away.
Right.
My grandma.
Oh, yeah. Your grandma, not mine, too.
Anyway.
We had that running joke for a long time.
Yeah, a long time. So anyway, that's August 2nd. So the Summer of Love. So basically during that week's time, there's going to be something going on in every game.
Right.
ESO, Final Fantasy XIV, Star Wars, World of Warcraft. I mean, Guild Wars 2, any of the game divisions that we have, there's going to be events at night. Star Trek Online, which Dent is probably going to be running something. Anyway, so check the Discord for the Summer of Love and find out about all the events that we're doing. And then something else that SOTOR's AIE part, SOTOR, shit. Yeah, I'm gonna rewind. Yeah, no. So AIE's presence in SOTOR, they created this Summer of 300. So as this new expansion is coming out, Onslaught in the fall, which I'm saying November, is and they say September, which I don't believe. But anyway, they are getting some achievements aren't going to be achievable anymore.
Okay.
So there's your 8 class stories.
Yep.
You need to get all 8 classes to command rank 300.
Oh. Before that, yeah, because they're not going to have the command ranks anymore,
well,
right?
yeah, they're changing it, but they basically said that achievement will not be achievable anymore.
Okay.
So people are going bananas
They're
for
like,
it.
oh my god, I got to get to 300!
Yeah, so it's a command rank bonanza.
Bonanza.
I used it.
Wow.
Anyway.
Back at the ranch.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, I'm rambling on. So Dent came up with this idea, and all the officers kind of were like, "Yeah, this sounds sweet." So
They're gonna have the Summer of 300 where people get together and
yeah,
try
and it's an unofficial. I don't want to say the word challenge, but it's an unofficial challenge where if you need to do a master mode flashpoint to get some CXP, just put it out in the Discord, and there's people that are like grinding for this right now.
yeah.
And Thon and the guild is always up for a master mode flashpoint. So
Sweet. Hey, if all this sounds fun to you, go to aie-guild.org, jump in the Discord, and get all the info for a guild invite. Marcus, you look like you want to say something before I finish.
I never recorded this on Audacity.
The whole thing?
Yeah,
Really?
I'm kidding.
Oh. Well, let me restart that. If all this sounds fun to you, go to aie-guild.org, jump in the Discord, and ask for a guild invite. Whether or not you play... Marcus, you spelled weather wrong. Whether or not you play SOTOR or any of the other fun games that AIE plays or we play, we would love to have you. Come on down. So, since Marcus has already tricked me, I have to pee. He scared me half to death.
We'll be right back.
And we're back. So today we're talking about our experiences with Bethesda's games, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
And the VAT system.
Right. So before we talk about the games themselves, I want to take you through the structure of the company just a touch. Bethesda has both a publishing and a development studio. So more specifically, it's called Bethesda Softworks. That's the publishing studio, and then Bethesda is the development studio.
Okay.
So both of those are actually owned by an even bigger parent company called ZeniMax Media. So then ZeniMax Media owns a whole bunch of other game development studios, and they basically own all of the developers of the other game titles that we're going to talk about. So there's a bunch of instances where Bethesda owns the rights to a game or series, but will delegate a bulk of the development to another company. So for example, or in some cases, ZeniMax will own it, and then Bethesda will help publish it or something, and then the other developer will make the game itself. An example, Fallout New Vegas was published by Bethesda Softworks, but was actually developed by Obsidian, a different company. And I'll speak more about that later.
And for the record, Fallout New Vegas is your favorite.
Yes.
Okay.
That is probably my favorite of all of these games.
Okay.
Without further ado, let's talk about some of our favorite franchises that Bethesda owns or works on or works close with.
We need to update this part with what we actually want to talk about.
Marcus, you're like the Ron Burgundy of podcasters.
No, that's not true. I don't ever do it. I just did it to be a jerk.
I left that part in from what you were editing earlier. So first things first, let's talk about Elder Scrolls.
So
there's a whole bunch of games.
Yeah, so I remember the Elder Scrolls on the Xbox 360, and I tried it, and...
That would be Oblivion.
Yes.
The Elder Scrolls
3?
Crap, I should know that. I think it's 4.
Well,
I think 3 was Morrowind, 4 is Oblivion, 5 is Skyrim, I think.
Well, maybe...
Or maybe I have my numbers.
I don't know, but I played it.
Yeah.
I just don't think I like fantasy.
Yeah.
I'm not like a knight in shining armor kind of guy.
I get that.
And like even Game of Thrones, like, it's just not my time. I guess I'm more of sci-fi.
Yeah.
I like sci-fi.
That makes sense. That's
so,
fair.
but there was so much to do in it. I remember, like, in just that starting area, which I never made it past because I lost
the jail?
interest.
You never got past the jail?
No, once you got into the town.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I was just like, because everywhere you walked by, somebody had some bullshit side quest. Go save my cat.
Plus the like speaking thing was really weird in that game. Somebody would come up to you, and then it would zoom in on just their face.
Yes.
And then,
Zoom.
Hello, I have a quest for you.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was just their face in your entire TV.
And the graphics weren't good enough, so it almost looked like the old not King Kong, Godzilla movies.
Where they didn't match up quite right?
Yeah, the dubs. No, the dubs.
Right.
Where they were clearly speaking Japanese, but they put English dub, and their mouths were going a million miles an hour. That's what it was. But anyway, it was. I mean, again, if it was not during the time of Call of Duty in my life,
Right. You might be into it more.
I would have played it more.
Yeah. So that Oblivion was the first game that I played as well for the Elder Scrolls, just because of my age. I didn't really get into Morrowind or anything, but for the record, Marcus just yawned too. Ha! So I'm not the only one. But what I played a little bit of Oblivion. I actually watched, shout out to my cousin Danny. I watched him play Oblivion more than I think I actually played it myself. But when Skyrim came out in 2011, I played the shit out of that.
Yeah, you played like 8,000 hours.
Literally, I think so. I played, I want to say like 250 hours on one character on my Xbox 360, and then I played another 150 hours on a second character on my Xbox 360, and then I got it on the PC and used some console commands to like do God modes a couple times and stuff and clip through things so I could do things faster. I think I played that character for like 500 hours.
That's insane. And have you bought the new one?
The new what?
Skyrim?
No, like with VR and stuff. I did not.
No. But it's like the updated one for like the PlayStation 4, where it's like HD graphics. It's super pretty, and you can put mods in it.
I did not do that because
you've already played like
I already played
2,000
hours.
Like,
yeah, like up, frontwards, backwards, sideways. I did everything twice. But yeah, what I really like about, especially obviously I played a ton of Skyrim and a lot of Bethesda's games. I like how there's like an entire universe of lore and background and stuff for you like that's not even discoverable in the game and happened way before the game and happens way after the game. That's really cool. Like, so I really like a lot of things that I really enjoy, whether it be games or movies or TV shows. I like when you're getting like a piece of the universe, sort of, and you have a sense that it's something substantially larger and you get to explore. So even if you do every single thing you possibly can in the game, you never feel like you did everything, if that makes sense, because you know there's more out there. Like for example, in the Elder Scrolls, there's this whole giant the continent of Tamriel, and then in each game you explore only a section of it. So like in Morrowind you explore Morrowind. In Oblivion you go to this other realm called Oblivion, but Tamriel might be the middle section. I forgot what the middle section's called that you explore in Oblivion, but you explore like the central area.
Sure.
And then in Skyrim you explore the northern section called Skyrim, which is all primarily like the Nordic people and like Vikings and it's cold up in those streets.
Sure.
But I just like that how it's way bigger than there's a ton to do. And then obviously there's all kinds of magic and cool storytelling. And
what's crazy to me is you basically play an MMO
but without other people around.
Correct.
Yeah. It's the same style. Like you grind through things, you go get
You need
stuff.
to level up. You can't fight the milk boss because you need to be level 30 and you're only level 27 and you're getting your butt stomped in.
Right.
And you're like, shit, I got to go kill 100 of these orcs.
Right.
Because that'll level me up to where I need to be able to have a small chance. Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's the same style. Yeah, for sure. So I liked that a lot. Speaking of MMOs, in this same...
Wait a minute. Are you going to get the new Elder Scrolls when it comes out?
Of course.
Your life will be over.
I know.
Not really, because, when the other games came out, you were like, younger.
Yeah. And I had, like, less responsibilities.
Right.
That's true. Like, yeah.
I saw this chart that showed, like your PC.
Yeah.
And it showed, like, lowest parts you can afford, playtime, maximum.
Right.
Most expensive parts you can buy, yes.
Playtime minimal. Oh, I see. Yeah.
So it's like the fluctuation of it, because like, Ma, I need a new video card. You just got one 2 years ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? Kind of a thing.
Right.
So, anyway, sorry. What about the online?
So, and they also made the Elder Scrolls series. There's I think 5. I think Skyrim's the 5th installment. That came out in 2011. They've had a gazillion updates and stuff like that. But they've also recently, I forgot what year it came out, but they have also made an MMO called Elder Scrolls Online, and that was developed not directly by Bethesda, but by a separate development company called ZeniMax Online Studios. So basically, when they started making their own MMO, which I think is ZeniMax's first MMO in any of their other titles, and therefore Bethesda's first MMO, they made a new development company dedicated just to that. Because as we've talked about a whole bunch in SOTOR, when you have an MMO, it's expected to be going on for years and years and years, and it takes a lot of development, and you need dedicated staff for that. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So so before I have my current laptop, which can play games, when Elder Scrolls Online came out, I actually signed up for their beta, and I was a beta tester, but my laptop was like $250 or something, and had integrated graphics, and it was horrible. So, of course, I couldn't run it.
Right.
So that's the only time I actually tried to play it. And then once I realized like it was third person, it wasn't like Skyrim, and I couldn't run it, I just kind of gave up.
You can play it in first person, though.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, it was mostly just crappy because my crappy old laptop.
Sure.
I should really revisit it and give it a shot.
So I've been playing it.
And Mark has played it.
Yeah, so a couple weeks ago, Nick came up with this grand idea that we should do like
a Bethesda episode.
Well, a Bethesda, but like almost focus on some of the like because we love all games, and yeah, I love SOTOR,
right?
And it's consumed my life for a few years now.
Yes,
but there's so many other studios / games that I've played that I absolutely love over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick loves, and this is our opportunity to kind of break that down and figure what better one to start with is Bethesda, just because Nick loves
so many of their games.
So many of the games, and I loved so many of their games too, so it only makes sense. So I said, you know what, Nick, I'll play Elder Scrolls Online for a couple weeks. So I started playing again, and the controls are a little different than SOTOR, which I'm a creature of habit.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really like the controls on the PC, so I play with a controller.
Right.
I use my Xbox Elite controller, which, again, is the correct controller because it's an Xbox controller.
There's no argument there. Yeah. Especially that Elite controller is ridiculous.
Yeah. So it's fun. Something that bothers me, and, everybody that's listening is going to tell me I'm an idiot, because, but you can put these add-ons on the game, and I've been trying for, 2 days to, figure out how to put these add-ons in the game, and I finally figured out how to put it in the right folder, do all that, and then I click to go to use it, and it tells me I'm missing these 2 add-on files that I need to make this work. Why would you ever make an MMO game that doesn't have a mini-map on the main screen? It boggles my mind. A mini-map. I'm not asking you for, a chat system. I'm not asking you for anything that's, high-tech. I'm asking for a mini-map. I mean, goddamn Yoshi's World has a mini-map.
That's true.
I mean, come on.
And it makes sense if, so I was thinking about it. Skyrim doesn't have a mini-map, but that's single player. So, if you get a little lost, it's kind of part of the mysticism, and then you can pause it and pull up. But you can pause it and pull up your map anyway.
Well, that's the way this is.
Yeah.
But
when you need to do things in real time in an MMO, you want something a little more continuous and
it has that bar on the top. That
the compass bar?
Yeah, the compass bar.
Yeah,
but
that's not the same.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
So I'm working on that. But I will say...
So one of these add-ons will add a mini-map, but it's a pain in the ass
and that's
to
all I
install.
need. That's all I need is a fucking mini-map.
I get you.
And to release a game that doesn't have that is just ridiculous. But anyway, so here's the positives. It's beautiful. My character's Carrie B.
Of course.
Yep. And I just got a sweet bow staff.
Wait, what did you pick for a class or whatever?
I think just a warrior. Usually my go-to is just a basic warrior because
then you figure out the game kind of.
Yeah, because they just bash stuff, and I don't need any complex anything
mechanics or whatever.
Yeah,
to try and figure out while you're learning.
Yeah, I just want to bash stuff.
Yeah,
and I want the opportunity to dual wield,
just like Diggledorf.
Yes. Yeah, he was a barbarian. That's my Dungeons and Dragons character,
right?
Or one of them. Anyway,
right.
So I bought Morrowind. So I'm
Morrowind.
Yeah, the Elder Scrolls.
Oh, the expansion.
Correct.
That's
so
right,
that
okay.
basically gave me the first section and the second section of the game. Since then, they've released Somerset, and I think another expansion has just come out called Elsewhere or something like that.
Oh, I should play that. I should really play this game.
Dude, you would go crazy for this game.
I might lose my life.
And actually, I think if
what?
Yes, I'm gonna hook you up.
Okay.
But here's the other thing. You can play on your PlayStation.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Oh boy.
Yeah, so it's not the same server as the computer.
You're right. Yeah.
Where like the Final Fantasy servers on the PlayStation are the same.
Okay.
As the PC, but this is not. But who cares? I think you will love it. Like I play it, like it's the same quest system as Skyrim. It's the same, essentially everything. I think the graphics are a little less because it's an MMO and there's so much content.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And even if I know I have the Somerset brand new sitting in that bag, but I know that if I gave it to you, you wouldn't play it on your computer.
Right.
So
yeah, I'll play. I'm much more likely to play it on my PS4.
Actually,
especially because I have the Pro, it'll look better.
What was that noise?
That was me cracking a second beer.
Oh, okay. You mean a third beer?
Yes.
Anyway,
but they're little ones.
Yeah, they're the little guys. He's got pony beers.
They're little baby summer shandies.
Anyways,
it's basically lemonade.
You know what? I just thought of. You have a $25 PlayStation Plus PlayStation Store gift card that will buy you Morrowind, like the first expansion.
Wow, I forgot about that. I got like the deal of the century with that trade.
Anyway, well, I just didn't want it. Anyway, so it's actually pretty fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna be all over Nick to play this because I think it's Skyrim on crack, and I think you'll love it.
Yeah, I should.
If you just give it a shot, like if you give it a real shot, I think you're gonna enjoy it.
I think I should do that once I finish God of War.
See, I think you should play a little before God of War.
And then dive in after.
Yeah, because you're going to play it, and you're going to be like, maybe not. And then you're going to beat God of War, and then you're going to be like, oh, I'll try that again because I don't have a game. Because I don't think there's any big games coming out anytime soon.
Yeah, but like I feel like I do better with games when I can just sink my teeth into them 100%.
Sure.
You know, like look at how long it took me to revisit SOTOR. I don't want to have that happen again, you know?
Yeah. Anyway, then didn't they remake? Oh, yeah, so Bethesda made Wolfenstein 3D way back in the day.
They did?
I think so. Well, it might not have been Bethesda back then.
No, it was somebody else. It was
3D Realms,
Muse Studio or something like that.
Well, but isn't that?
I'm scrolling and looking.
Yeah, but it was originally made by Muse Software, which I think is the same thing.
Yeah, Muse Software got bought by id Software, and then id Software got bought by ZeniMax Media, who is basically Bethesda.
Exactly, so it is Bethesda.
Yeah.
I played the snot out of Wolfenstein 3D back in the day.
I see that was before my time, basically.
I was playing that on my Packard Bell computer.
Yeah, Wolfenstein 3D came out in 1992, and I was born in 1995. For reference.
Yeah, so you definitely did not play Wolfenstein 3. Wow, now I just feel fucking old.
Yeah, and then we're going to talk about Doom also, but
anyway,
the first Doom game came out in 1993, the next year.
So did you ever play the Wolfenstein games?
I played the new series of them.
Yeah. I'm talking about the new ones.
Yeah, so I played whatever the first one in the newest series is, and I have not played the second game yet that came out fairly recently.
So I played the first one.
Yeah, and I played all the expansions for it too. Like the Old Blood and whatever else
I think I got about halfway through.
New Order or something.
It was really good.
It was awesome. I really liked it because it's like, I think of it, so Doom, it's kind of like the same mechanics as Doom, where like you just go through and kill all the Nazis in very like violent ways, and it's great because you don't feel bad for them because they're Nazis and evil people.
But what's awesome is the story of it was awesome. How the Nazis won.
But yeah, so in the new...
And it's like that that show.
Oh,
on Amazon Prime.
Something in High Castle?
Yeah, Man in the High Castle.
The Man in the High Castle? Yeah, I think it's like... It's the future. So it's after the Nazis won, but it's the 60s. I think it's the new game starting like the 60s or something. But it's like an alternate 1960s where like the Nazi war machine technology just kept going, so they have all this crazy futuristic technology, but it looks like you developed it from the 50s.
Right.
It's almost like Fallout-esque.
Yes. But
in that way.
It was really good.
It's really cool. I like the story. I like how it's like they use the technology to like revive the main character from the 1940s, basically.
This is making me mad that I play Star Wars: The Old Republic.
So much
Yeah, because there's so many good games.
that you just miss out on.
Yeah. Because every time I play it, I feel like I'm cheating on SOTOR.
Right.
Anyways, that's what they want me to feel like.
I know. That's how they keep your subscription.
Yes. Well, no, yeah. Anyway, and then they came out with the second one that it was called The New Colossus.
Yes, I played like halfway through that.
I did not play it.
And then something else happened. I think then Shadow of War came out, and I didn't get back to it.
Right, but I did play the new Doom.
I played like the first 3 or 4 levels of the new Doom, and that was awesome. So Doom is like Wolfenstein on crack. It's like you don't stop sprinting, don't stop shooting, and all of the kills are way more intense and way more brutal, and they can get away with that because you're killing demons and not people. And it's awesome. And you're in hell. And I think one of the best ways to sum up Doom, if you've never played it or have been living under a rock and don't know what Doom is, you're this crazy space marine that gets sent to hell, but the demons aren't you're not stuck in there with the demons. The demons are stuck in there with you, and you just murderate all of them. It's epic.
Right. So
that's also made by id Software, who also made Quake, one of the first like first-person shooters ever.
I loved
like online first-person shooters.
I loved Quake
and Rage, which I believe is a racing game, but less popular.
So to Doom, the new one.
The graphics are unbelievable.
I used it when I had my two 1070s.
Yep.
And like I was getting frame rate drop with the two 1070s in SLI, and I was like, wow. And then I got the Titan, and I was like, yeah, this is how it's supposed to look.
It's crazy.
And the game was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Again, halfway through, and
yeah, and then SOTOR took over, and
yeah,
never revisited it.
Yeah, I won't ever go back, but you know. But here's the thing about me. I look at it as ID Software doesn't care if I play the game. They just care if I buy the game.
Right.
And
I do too. I bought it.
Yeah, and I'm a big advocate of buying a game to support a studio because I feel like if I buy a $60 game, it just helps them further in their development, or they're going to make another game that's really sweet that I might actually play.
Right.
So I believe in that.
Yeah, like if you're interested in it, just buy it, and even if you only play halfway, it's still kind of worth it.
Right.
You're supporting something that you really like, even if you don't end up consuming it all that much in favor of something else or whatever.
Right.
I getcha.
So, so going with that, they're making another Doom.
I know. Doom Eternal?
Yeah. But no, is that no? I think
that's a mobile game or something.
No, Eternal's the VR.
Oh, that's right.
They're making a sequel to this Doom.
Yeah.
Because it was so popular.
I don't think they realized how popular it was going to be.
I didn't think so either, but they made an awesome game.
Yeah.
You can't make a good game now and not expect people to play it.
Right.
You know, even guys like me who only play half of it or a few levels or whatever, I enjoyed the shit out of it, those few levels.
Me too. It's really, I might go like revisit that because it was awesome.
It was awesome.
Oh, it's probably cheap for the PS4.
I have it on, if you play it on your computer, you can play it for free through my Steam library.
That's true, too.
So, you know, I was thinking about it, Nick. Like, I got this laptop for, like, a G Note.
Yeah.
And the it's got a 1660 Ti in it, which is a good card.
Yeah, that works.
It's better than a 1060.
Right.
And it was a G Note. Like, save your money, upgrade your laptop, and then, like, you can play all of the games that I have in my Steam library for free.
That's true. Yeah.
Because then, you know, you don't have to buy anything. You can just play Doom.
Right.
Or whatever other bullshit games
that I end up playing.
Out of the 160 games that are sitting in there.
That's true. Or if I spent a G Note, could I build a computer? A desktop?
Do you want a desktop though?
I don't know. I mean, I have this laptop works for all my applications except for gaming.
Well, if you built a laptop, then we could build
a desktop, you mean?
Yes. If we could. We should really talk about that because I'm pretty sure I have a shit ton of parts.
Yeah.
That we could like jerry rig a computer.
A Franken.
Oh yeah, we would definitely name it the Franken
Slut 6000.
Yeah,
or whatever.
because the last this iteration is the Franken Bouchard 9000 because it's the 9th build.
Okay.
But you would be the Franken Nick
Right, or Frankenvern.
Frankenvern 1000 because
Right.
it's your first build.
Right.
But I think you could legit build a decent computer for like $700 because you already have a monitor,
Right. I have a
Oh.
monitor. I have a
mouse,
I
a
have
keyboard. All you need is the desktop.
Yeah.
And
I need a case and then whatever fill-in parts that you don't have.
yeah,
And then-
and I know I have a hard drive you could have.
Yeah. I have an external hard drive, but that doesn't work for
No,
internal.
yeah. You should totally build one.
Okay. We can have a separate episode where we hash it out.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about Doom and playing games on your computer.
I don't even want to talk about anything else but building you a computer now.
All right.
So you're gonna get like text messages of PC part picker,
Right.
and like I'm gonna be like, this i5 is legit, and you can get it for $180.
Well, first things first, we should figure out. Let's just finish this tangent before we move on. First things first, we should figure out what parts I currently have. So I know I have a monitor, keyboard, mouse, but what you have for spare parts that you don't care about.
If it's not in that box, I don't care about it.
Right.
But
Well, so that's what I'm saying. Well, you got to figure out what you do have.
the other thing is,
I would need a motherboard, right? Do you have a motherboard?
I don't know. I have so much shit. I don't even know. I just have to open up the tub and look at all the parts I have.
You've
But
got like a Lego tub full of computer parts.
when you build a computer, you can't get rid of the old parts.
Oh, right.
You can't. Like
They're like nostalgic.
No, you're just like, what if someday I need it? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And Anyway,
Want to talk about my favorite franchise of all time?
Yep.
The one that you hate?
I don't hate it. The mechanics of the game are dumb.
I like them. So, all right. So, let's rewind. We're talking about Fallout. So, Fallout is my favorite franchise of all time. And if you thought I played Skyrim a lot, wait till you hear the numbers on Fallout 3 in New Vegas.
Okay. And for the record, I played 25 hours of Fallout 3.
Okay. And
So
that's it?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. So, I should
Can you
rewind.
break down what is Fallout
So
for anybody that doesn't know?
Yeah, so Fallout is a little complicated in their lore. So Fallout is a world that's when you start playing, it's post-apocalyptic. So in the game, in the year 2077, there was a nuclear holocaust where the United States and Russia and China, actually mostly the United States and China, started it off. They went to war, and they ended up nuking each other, and the other allies in the world got involved, and the entire globe got nuked. So there's radiation everywhere, and a lot of people died, of course. So So in Fallout, I forget where you start in the first two Fallout games, but in Fallout 3,
You start in the same thing.
no, you start 200 years after the initial nukes dropped. So you start in the year 2277 instead of 2077. And so there's radiation all over the place, but it's only pockets, and you can kind of walk around still. It's not quite as intense. So it's inhabitable. But most of the things are destroyed. But what makes Fallout particularly cool, besides things being destroyed, is somewhere along that timeline, the transistor, I think is what it is, was never invented. So, excuse me, you have all this cool futuristic technology, because of course it takes place like more than 250 years in the future. But it's all technology, basically, with like big tubes coming out the side, and sort of like it's future technology as if someone from the 1950s would have envisioned it. So like you have a plasma rifle that's like got it's like giant, almost the size of like a bazooka or something, and it's got like big flashing lights and light bulbs off the side, and not transistors, but like cathode ray tubes and things like that coming off the side. So it's not quite steampunk, but it's like something in between. I forget what the initial like split timeline date from the real world versus the Fallout world is, but that's basically what you're working with. And a lot of other things are running on nuclear energy instead of gasoline or something. So like, for example, all of the cars in the game look like 1950s cars, and they're all running on nuclear power, but like on a smaller scale. So like if you blow up a car in the game, you have to really get the hell away from it before it blows up, because it's going to be a big explosion. Like if you're right next to a car when it explodes, I'm pretty sure it kills you even if you have good power armor on.
Right.
which is good. The best armor in the game. So originally Fallout 1 and 2 were developed by Obsidian Games. I believe it's called Obsidian Games. They're different.
It is.
It's a different studio. So Obsidian was not doing too hot financially, and Bethesda purchased the franchise from Obsidian. So there was also a couple other games like Fallout Arena and Fallout, I forget the other ones, but they're not nearly as popular and they weren't as good. But the first two games, Fallout 1 and 2, were like these top-down, I forget what it's called, almost like Diablo-style looking games, and not at all first-person shooters, like from Fallout 3 on turned into.
Right. And I just want to go back to our earlier thing. So Elder Scrolls 3 was Morrowind.
Yes.
And that was released May 1st, 2002.
Okay. And then Bethesda, and then Oblivion was 4 and Skyrim was 5, just like I said.
Yes, I just wanted to go back and confirm. So Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion was March 20th, 2006.
Right.
2006.
So that's how I got to actually play that.
Anyway. So the premise of Fallout it's almost sci-fi for me.
It is definitely sci-fi because it's in the future.
Right, but I like
all
the
this crazy
fact that
technology.
All these rich people decided to go into these vaults.
Oh, right. There's the more layers to that.
Right.
So when before the nuclear holocaust came, there's all these vaults all over the country, and like underground vaults that would shelter you from the nukes should that happen. And so in Fallout 3, you play as somebody who grew up inside of the vault and then ended up coming out of it.
Right. And I was like, oh, so it started, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I like this.
Yeah.
And then you get outside, and I'll never forget the moment when the door opened and you saw like the sun right? in like, it's just a wasteland.
Right.
And you're like, well, this isn't going to be good.
Right, because it's all shiny, new, futuristic, 1950s sci-fi inside the vault. Yeah, and then you get out, and it's just horrific outside.
So I walk out, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to be badass. All right. And then I see a dog, and I'm like, oh, he's not going to bother me. Well, he decides he's going to bother me, and just so happens on the ground right there's a bat. I'm like, oh, perfect. So I just pray and spray, swing the bat like 5 times, and the bat breaks, and I die. And I'm like, why did that just happen to me? Why did I just die? How does a bat break on a dog? Right? Like I should have broke the dog with the bat. And so then the tutorial window pops up, and
it's like, hey,
there's
your weapons can break.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay.
So before we get too far, I just want to say, when Bethesda purchased the franchise from Obsidian, and then came out with Fallout 3, they totally changed it from that top-down style to a first-person shooter.
Almost like what they did with Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2 to 3.
Right, precisely.
Yep.
So, and Fallout 3, I think Fallout 1 and 2 also had VATS, but it made more sense because all the combat was kind of like turn-based.
Mm-hmm. It was like almost like JRPG-ish.
Right. So when you have this in 1 and 2, you had this VAT system. It was Vault Tech, the company that made all the vaults, assisted targeting system, VATS, and it basically freezes time, lets you highlight
areas,
your enemy, and then select whichever body part you want to shoot. And there's like, based on how far away they are, how accurate the gun is, like your skill levels and stuff like that, you have percentages of your likelihood to hit them. And then you can pick and choose how many shots and blah, 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 and start shooting. So that's really helpful, especially early game, because the shooting mechanic, and in Fallout 3, because the shooting mechanic is not like Call of Duty. It's not quite so crisp, so you really need to use VATS to kill things. So Marcus doesn't like that. And along with it, you have weapon degradation as things go along. So early in the game, all your stuff breaks really quickly because you are not very good at repairing things, and you can't. All the stuff you're getting is crappy anyway, so it's really low. It's like almost broken when you get it, which sounds frustrating. But as you go through the game, like you find items that are like in much better condition, and then you're better at repairing things because you've leveled up your repair skill, and you find like repair kits and stuff like that. So it gets better as you go. So Fallout 3, you play as a vault dweller that comes out, and basically your dad. I don't want to go through it too much, but you go on a big quest to find your dad, and save like the area of the wasteland that you're in. It's based out of Washington D.C. Then Fallout New Vegas, you're around, of course, New Vegas. But I like New Vegas because there's a bunch of new game sort of mechanics in it. So in Fallout 3, there's a bunch of different factions you can interact with, but there's no karma system for whether or not they like you. In New Vegas, there's every faction has like karma attached to it, meaning like if you go into a I don't know, one of the Caesar's Legion camps and kill everybody, you have all kinds of bad karma for them, and then anytime you see somebody from Caesar's Legion sees you after that, they'll start shooting at you. Whereas if you pick games in the main quest, pick choices in the main quest that help out Caesar's Legion, then they'll be really nice to you going forward, and will even like give you extra help later in the game.
But back to the mechanic.
Yeah.
You're skipping over.
The VATS mechanic?
I got a gun.
Yeah.
I remember it was a pistol.
Yeah, the 10mm pistol probably.
Whatever it was.
Yep.
And this thing was coming towards me. And I just learned how to use this VAT thing. And I'm like,
wait, was it the Cazador?
I don't know.
Was it a flying bug?
No. It was some thing.
Okay.
It had 4 legs.
Okay.
Anyway, so I zoomed in on it.
Okay.
Actually, it was like, you know what it was? It was 3 dogs.
Oh.
And they started running after me, and I zoomed in, and I was like, oh, fuck.
With the VATS?
Yep.
Okay.
3 headshots. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
And I'm like, perfect. And it said I was doing X amount of damage. I'm like, fuck, I'm shooting them in the fucking head. A bullet in the head is going to kill a dog. They don't have protection. They're not wearing, they don't have adamantium.
Adamantium?
Yeah, skulls. Right.
Right.
So I come out of the bullet time, and it goes, pow, pow, pow. All of them still chasing me. And I'm like,
and now you're probably
what the hell is going on right now?
And then now you're probably out of action points because you just try to do 3, which action points are like the currency for VATS.
Right. So, and I'm like, okay, shit, what do I do? So then I tried to shoot him.
Normally.
Like normally, and I only had 5 bullets. So I'm out of bullets, and it auto-loads this bat, and then I try to load the bat, and the bat breaks. So now I'm like punching these things, and I die. And I'm like, why is this like this? Okay, calm down.
You just need to suck less and find some stuff to kill things with.
Right. So, and this is, again, this is at the height of Call of Duty, which is as action-packed as you can get.
Right.
And now I'm so wrapped in an MMO, if it doesn't have SOTOR controls, the game sucks.
Right.
And I'm such like an old man now because like even that Bloodstained game, I'm terrible at playing it because I'm so not used to it. But anyways, but the premise of Fallout was awesome. So Fallout 3, I had it for the Xbox 360, and then they came out with the Game of the Year edition for the PC, and I was like, oh, I'll buy that, and I'm going to give it another try.
Yeah, and no dice.
No dice.
Yeah.
But then they came out with Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah, New Vegas I like substantially more.
And I was like, wow, I'm going to try again.
Yeah, no dice.
But anyway, what made I remember people were talking about it. There was something different about New Vegas versus 3 that, like, changed the game.
Well, I think mainly, sorry, I'm actually looking that up to make sure I don't miss anything. But you can, the combat is a little easier in New Vegas. Like, they cleaned up the combat controls. The karma system is giant in New Vegas because your choices actually matter, and you can for the story in New Vegas, you can actually basically you're not attached to anybody in New Vegas like you are in the first game. Or in Fallout 3. In Fallout 3 you're like trying to find your dad, and it's basically you and your faction versus the Enclave. Right. It's like good guys and bad guys. It's cut and dry, and that's about it. In New Vegas, there's like 6 different factions vying for control of New Vegas, this big city. It's Las Vegas. So you've got Mr. House, who basically controls one of the casinos, but is like the biggest, most prevalent casino in New Vegas.
Right.
Then you've got Caesar's Legion. I'm doing this out of memory. If I forget something, I haven't played in quite a while. You've got Caesar's Legion. You've got the NCR, which is the New California Republic. That's like the government. It's the Rangers there, and you're fighting for control over Hoover Dam, which is close by. So whoever wins the Battle of Hoover Dam and who you side with basically gets control of New Vegas, which is right nearby, because the dam provides a bunch of power to New Vegas. Then you've got smaller factions that you can swing to sort of be reinforcements for whichever main faction you want to win the battle. So you've got like the Boomers, which are these military group that's out of one of the Air Force bases, and they have a big plane that can bomb people, hence the name. And they also have artillery.
But
Boomers. Basically, it's your ability to choose the story is a lot more open-ended, and you can mold your character to however you want.
Which would kind of be true if you were stuck in a wasteland. You would have to. You couldn't be a lone ranger with no factions.
Yeah, and you also, it wouldn't be so cut. Like, the world is not cut and dry, white and black. Good guys, bad guys. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So New Vegas is a little more realistic, where it's like, okay, everyone has their own motivations and ideals for doing stuff, and so you kind of have, and you have like this karma system where like you can be like really good with these people, really bad with those people, or in some people you can be kind of neutral, and then you can have like this unique dialogue options for each sort of like set of karma that you have for each faction,
right?
Which is kind of cool. I really like New Vegas just because it's got the most RPG elements, sort of, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Then, late after New Vegas, there was years and years and years, and that wasn't actually developed by Bethesda themselves. That was developed by Obsidian. Then later, Fallout 4 came out, and they used some of the New Vegas stuff where you can side with factions, but not. They got rid of the karma system, which people hated, and they simplified a lot of the skills menu stuff, which people also didn't like. And a big thing in Fallout 3 and New Vegas and the previous Fallouts is a lot of the dialogue options are really funny because they were all text-based. Your protagonist was not voiced.
Right.
So then in Fallout 4, they made a voiced protagonist in a simplified dialogue tree. So it's kind of like, what was the name of that? It's like L.A. Noire. You ever play that game?
Yep.
Where you can be like doubt, like accept, like challenge, or something like that, or like say thank you. Like the dialogue options would be like A, B, X, Y, or whatever, and it would say like yes, no, maybe, or whatever, and then each answer would be more than that. It would be like, so if you clicked yes, it might say, your character might say, yes, I think that's a good idea. Or if you say no, this is a simplified answer. But it led, long story short, it led to some vague and frustrating options. Like if you would say like doubt, but then you might want to just like ask for clarification or something like that.
Right.
Or clarify, something might say clarify. And then your character would say, oh, what the hell are you talking about? And it's a really negative answer, and then you go down like a negative dialogue tree, and you didn't mean that. You just wanted like a neutral dialogue tree or something like that.
Well, I think it's really hard to capture all the dialogue in the trees because everybody's going to answer different.
Right.
And there can be only so much they can say or do.
Right. Well, and that's not quite an issue because in the earlier games, because in New Vegas in 3 and 1 and 2 also, it was all text-based, so they'd have the entire answer listed out in front of you. So you'd know what the heck you were getting into because you'd see the whole sentence rather than like an abbreviated version that you were picking from and trying to hope that it's what you wanted to actually go with.
Right.
So that was kind of frustrating for people with 4. But in 4 they did make the combat a lot better. Like you can actually shoot properly without VATS if you want to, which you would probably like a lot more.
I should try it.
And in 4 you could build settlements too, which is a new thing. That's
and then they carried that over to Fallout 76.
Right, which you make I honestly, so when I'm talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly in the intro to the show, the ugly would be 76. I never ended up playing it because it was
actually they're saying it's actually really good now.
Now, yes, but when it first came out, it was terrible.
Oh yeah, it was terrible. I think this is the hard part of where we are as a game community.
Mm-hmm.
Because these AAA games cost so much to make, and that they're like, okay, this game is coming out on July 3rd. And when they're like, look at the game's not ready, we gotta wait. We need a month. And they're like, nope, gotta come out. And they send out a broken game because you're still gonna get the initial purchases,
Right?
and you're gonna probably make your money back. But then the reviews are terrible, and people stop playing it, and they're like, oh, we'll just update it, and people will come back.
Yeah,
Almost like Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege came out and it was meh. They fixed some things, and now it's huge.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think with 76, what they were trying to do was make a pseudo MMO, basically, because they had an Elder Scrolls MMO, and the other biggest sort of franchise for Bethesda is Fallout. So they wanted a pseudo MMO with Fallout 76, and I don't think they did a good job with that. Mainly because the biggest issue is that none of the NPCs in the game are human; they're all robots. So, and that's a big giant thing in the Fallout universe, is you interacting with all the other people in the wasteland, and like I said, the karma system, and banding together, and trying to survive together with these other people.
Right.
So not having that, you lose a big element in Fallout, and also because it's an MMO, you lose that VATS mechanic, which is central to the entire game. So because you can't pause the game in real time because it's an MMO,
right? Yep.
So I think it's just flawed from the get-go. 76 would be
sure,
but
we've touched on a lot of Bethesda games. So I'm gonna give Bethesda like an 8 out of 10 in quality.
Yeah,
because they've put out some really good games over the years,
even if
like
they're
dating
buggy.
back to Wayne Gretzky hockey on MS-DOS, right?
In 1988.
Right, but two of their big games that are still to be announced on release dates are the Elder Scrolls 6 and Wolfenstein 3.
Hello, computer.
That wasn't me.
Oh, I think it was the Alienware.
Oh, probably saying the battery's dead.
Yeah. Anyways. Thank you, Bethesda. That was awesome. You're one of my favorite gaming studios. I think it's one of Marcus's as well, besides maybe someday we'll do a BioWare episode.
What are you guys talking about in here?
Find out next episode of Working Class Nerds.